Yo. Is this thing working? Wait, let me check. Hold on. Let's see. Do my audio settings work? Testing. Hello. Why is it really quiet? Am I tripping, or is there like a lot of white noise in the background? Hold on. Am I tripping, or is there like a lot of white noise in the background? I'm not checking with my headphones. I'm testing new things. Pardon me. No, that sounds fine, I feel like. Yeah, I don't know where the white noise is coming from, but we'll have to deal with it for today. It's a new setup. It might be coming from the XLR cables. I'm not sure. Not certain about it. I could throw on noise cancellation, but I feel like that always sounds worse. How's everybody doing? We got a bunch of people here staying up extremely late, or do we have a bunch of Europeans? Because it's 2:30 a.m. where we are here in Indiana. Or I guess West Coasters, it's only 11:30 p.m. Night owl in Kansas. What's up? Normally work till 2 and it's 11 right now. 7:20 a.m. here. I wish, dude. I'm just waiting for the sun to come up right now. This keeps tripping me out. I put my phone on my desk and it's on camera. You got the FX30 and A6400 for this? Yeah. Or A66, but same thing basically. And Texas just up because I'm going to a football game. Nice. Fellow Indiana night owl here. Hell yeah. I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule because I went out to Colorado for a week, so I was 2 hours back, which isn't the biggest difference, but I was also pushing my sleep back there. So it's like, if I'm going to bed at 3 a.m. in Colorado, when I get back here, that's 5 a.m. here. So I went to bed and then woke up again. Now I'm like, all right, I guess I'm starting my day. But I can't actually film my video that I'm working on until the sun rises, so we're streaming. I want to tinker with this power solution thing. Because I was having issues, as you saw in the video, when I took it out to Colorado. And I just kind of patched it and never really made it right. So I'm just going to screw around with some things. Maybe some USB power delivery, I think, is the solution that I should go for, rather than into a dummy battery. Just so, if something does go wrong, I think it's less likely to fry the camera if it's through the USB port, How many Sony cameras do you actually have? Just these two, A66 and FX30. And I guess I have a Sony floppy disk camera from the 90s or early 2000s. And a little action cam. But yeah, those are my only two, Sony mirrorless. So let's see. This is going to be a slower stream because middle of the night. But I figured, why not hang out and do this on live instead of just solo. Do I even need to take that off? Yeah, I do. So I'm going to test 9-volt USB power delivery and see if I can get that working. Because if I can, that would be a lot more reliable. And then if the other thing with that is if the power flashes out, like if it does overheat or something goes wrong, then the camera still works. It's just powered off the basic battery that's in it as like kind of a backup system, you know? What do you think about Nikon D50-100? I'm not super familiar. Got a Leica M8, nice. Ready to take photos on a rangefinder. Made me want to take more photos. That is sick. That you had a 6400 in one of the videos. No, I was shooting on a Canon M50 in the last video, I guess. Or yeah, I did show the A6600 as well. In my experience, the USB charger on Sony cameras won't sustain it indefinitely and will cause heat issues if it's trying to charge. Well, yeah, that's the thing to mess around with is, I think if it's 5 volts, it'll just charge the battery, but if it's 9 volts, it'll fully power the camera, at least on the FX30. The newer ones, they have the USB-C port. So we're gonna find out, I guess. Or maybe we won't find out in this stream, but we'll make progress at the very least. Who knows? Who knows? I gotta remember to keep my phone open because I'm not actually at my computer anymore, so I don't have the chat right in front of me. Watching your stream with my buddies on VR chat? Hell yeah. But yeah, I didn't use this power thing at all in the last video that I did, that super quick, like, 1-day build. Just because it was being unreliable. So now I'm like, yeah, I should fix this before I do any big projects. Because it's always annoying having to deal with camera issues on top of whatever issues the project's throwing my way, you know? A lot of things to handle at once. Why can I not get these screws? Oh yeah, I also have a package to open. Alright, here's the inside. Here's where we're at. What do I even want to do? I snipped some of these wires after the last video as kind of a desperation move to see if I could mitigate the overheating issues a little bit. Because I thought I'd fixed it and then it kind of started acting up here and there again. So I thought maybe just having all 3 of these voltage step downs in there maybe was overheating it. So it's only running on 1 right now. I can plug my PD probe into my A7 IV right now, but I think the FX30 might be a little newer. Yeah, I know the FX30 has it. I don't know when they started doing that. Does the A66 have an S&Q mode where you can do a time-lapse overnight? I think so. I'm not certain. I don't really do time-lapse as much, so I wouldn't know. What's up, Jewel? That's crazy, just woke up. Me too. Will I be up for good? I don't know. But I'm up right now. Okay, what do I even want to do to fix this? Should I completely disassemble it? I should take this off so I'm not dealing with the wireless unit dangling the whole time. Also, I'm sure the mic setup isn't ideal with this yet. Like, whenever I'm hitting anything on the desk, I'm sure it sounds crazier in the mic. I need to probably, like, boom this microphone, like, hang it from the shelf above. I think that would be a better solution. What you fixing? The drill battery power adapter for my camera. Just messing around with some things. Preemptively opening my windows here because I'm probably going to do soldering, which I'm sure is going to make the audio sound worse as well, but whatever, we'll deal. I can confirm that the A74 does negotiate 9 volts. Nice. Just wanted to say I discovered your channel recently and have really enjoyed the channel overall. Glad you don't have to fight with the Ender 3 anymore. Yeah, me too. Me too. Vibe of this is a little more chill than the normal video vibes. Well, yeah, there's no editing to save me. Yeah, I'm just gonna disassemble this whole thing because, for all I know, I might just end up making a new one. As I do, I think the long-term solution, like the final iteration of this whole drill battery power adapter, will be custom designing a whole PCB for it that integrates everything into one unit instead of having a whole mess of wires. I think for now I'm going to keep the low voltage circuit bypassed and just test the USB power delivery, because that's what I'm curious about. I was also wondering, I didn't really see it in the comments that much. There's a lot of people offering potential solutions for things, different ideas. But one thing that I noticed that I think might be contributing to why the power was cutting out is the cables on these new DC power plugs that I'm using are much thinner gauge than I used before. And so I'm wondering if they just can't handle that much amps, and it's not any of the actual components that are glitching out, it's just the wires being too thin. Are you not able to use your Rode mic on streams for better audio? I suppose I could. Is it actually like bad, or is it just white noise? It's just a whole other thing to set up and monitor battery levels on. So I'm not even going to worry about having this packed up into a nice solution. Time to break out the soldering iron. That is what I need. That, I will need some solder, multimeters for sure, or multimeter, whatever. I learned recently that I might be in a bigger minority than I thought on pronouncing it multimeter. I thought that was like an American thing, but then when I went to Colorado, I had to buy one of these out there because I didn't bring one, obviously. And everybody in Colorado pronounced it multimeter. So maybe it's just a Midwesternism? I don't know. Or maybe I'm just that stupid, but I swear, people from where I'm from call it a multimeter. Like, we don't say speedometer, we say speedometer, you know? So it's different for different things. Kilometer, kilometer. I think it's noise from outside, just the wind, because I've got all the windows open right now. West Coast, I hear multimeter. Interesting. I'm from Illinois and pronounce it the Midwestern way. Okay, so maybe it is Midwestern. Oh, it's the snowplow show. What's up? Ah, I'm dropping things. What was I doing? So I need to desolder this. So I need to get my electronics soldering iron plugged in. Probably don't need the plastic welding one. I lived in Virginia for 30 years and always pronounced it like people from Colorado. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder actually if I lowered the compression on my... Yeah, that could be useful. Hold on. Let me test something with the microphone. We're doing all kinds of new stuff. So can I hear myself right now? Check, check, check. And then if I lower the compression, testing, testing, testing. Maybe up the gain. Okay, I lowered the compressor, so maybe the background noise will be less dramatic now. When I ask Google how to pronounce multimeter, it pronounces it your way. Okay, maybe I'm vindicated. Oh, there's bots on the Twitch? Hold on, let me check. I keep forgetting I'm live on Twitch as well. Whatever. Let's see, did that mic change the audio quality at all? Didn't hear a change in any of the sound. Okay. Well, whatever. We'll rock with it. We will rock with it. It doesn't matter that much. It's a live stream at 2 a.m. Nobody's concerned. Good to see you still rocking that phone case. Yeah. I did just break the C-mount off finally. Super glue held on for longer than I thought it would have, but it finally gave up. But that's fine, because that was a proof of concept, and I'm gonna redo it on this camera anyway. So we'll get a part 2 to that at some point. Alright, how hot is this soldering iron now? Getting there. Is it hot enough? No, I need a file. I don't know if this is something you're supposed to do, but sometimes just to get the tip of the soldering iron a little nicer, I'll clean it up with a file. Because I don't care, you can replace them. Somebody asked in the chat a second ago, I skipped it, but somebody asked is all your making self-taught. And yeah, it's stuff like that that I just made up, and I don't know if that's a real thing or not. There's plenty of things I do wrong, or obvious things that I could do better, just because I do kind of operate entirely off guesswork. Pretty much everything self-taught. So let me... Truck just drove by. I'm sure that sounds great. I need some good wire. Who up fixing stuff? What else are we saying? I've used coarse sandpaper. Steel wool does wonders. Ah, yeah, steel wool, not a bad idea. Let's grab some wire. And I got some new USB ports that I can test out. I've just been stocking up on random parts that might be useful. These can get soldered into there. We'll use the little magic arm thing, whatever these are called, helping hands. See if I can get some soldered in there. Somebody was asking me why I use my cheap soldering iron as the actual electronics one and the nicer brand as the plastics welding one. And I really don't... I did not know that Weller was like a better brand. So I never thought about it. But I feel like the cheaper one gets hotter. And I have more replacement tips for it, so... That's just how I'm running it. Throw a little bit more solder into this guy. I'm not doing my best work here, but who really cares? Prefer the copper ball stuff to a wet sponge. Yeah, I never liked the wet sponge. I always got that in the kits and then didn't seem like it worked that well. I was tempted to start with the Ender 3, but I think I'd rather save up for the Bamboo A1. Yeah, I mean, you can get Ender 3s for cheap on Facebook Marketplace and stuff, but it's like, I don't know. You're probably going to save money just on filament in the long run and not having to reprint things a bunch of times, because it is really just plug and play with the Bamboo. Or look into, what's the other brand? Prusa. Prusa makes good stuff too. I need to practice soldering more along with welding and a lot of other things. Yes, same. I've been doing more soldering recently. I'm still not that good at it. But welding, I'm gonna be welding today actually. So hopefully I'm okay at it. I'm dropping things. Check these out. I just got these ordered in. It's a bunch of USB ports. And I think it's kind of cool. They come like in this big board that you snap off like it's a chocolate bar or something. Just like that. Isn't that fun? So we're going to use one of those. Hopefully it can handle the amps that I need. But I'm sure we'll find out pretty quickly. Yummy USB ports. Yeah, I'm going to start eating electronics instead of scrap wood, maybe. Introduce a new food group into my diet. We got pins in here that say V, D minus, D plus, and G. I'm going to assume... Well, I don't know if I can assume anything here. Because G could be ground, but there's also a minus. What does V stand for? If I had to guess, I would think it would be D plus and D minus, but I gotta look this up. I gotta look this up. Welding is fun, getting metal is not. Yeah, for sure. Evan, heads up, you don't want to wire 9 volt directly to a USB PD port. You need the negotiation or else you could fry the camera. So there's actual logic that's happening? Like it's telling the camera something? Man, why does everything gotta be complicated? I kind of would have assumed that it has something that reads the power in there. You can't DRY PD. PD always starts on 5 volts. Damn. Alright, well, thank you for that info. Because I totally would have done that. Actually, that explains why that didn't work. Because I did do that already. It didn't kill the camera. But I used one of these DC ports and plugged in the little dinky cable that I made that goes to USB male and tried powering it that way, and it didn't read it at all. Like it didn't even display that it was charging. So that makes sense, I suppose. In your detailed video, I understood that by dropping the voltage down from a battery, the amps get higher. Why not use a resistor to lower the amps? I don't know. I don't know enough to say. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just doing things. Okay, so maybe USB power delivery won't work. You saying that makes me realize that the issue with my test earlier may not have been the cable. That it's actually just that the camera doesn't take 9 volts without some sort of communication. So I could wire this up the way I was planning to here and send 5 volt, and I think that would work. But there's no point in doing that because the camera's still gonna die. It's just gonna slowly drain my batteries instead of quickly. So I kind of still have to do the dummy battery solution. Unfortunate. But that's fine. It's worked well in the past. most of the time I screw things up, it's when I'm trying to be smart and do it the right way instead of just doing it the way that I had been doing it. So, in that case, I need new wires for this thing because I think a big part of my issue was these cables being too short or too thin gauge, which is a tragedy because I bought like 30 of them. I think I think they work fine for the 4 and 5 volt applications, like for the wireless HDMI unit. But my theory is they were bugging out on the camera because it's like 8 volt 3 amps or something. But I don't know. I don't know nothing. I'm just doing things. So, every time that I rework this dummy battery and wire it to something new, the cable gets a little bit shorter every time. And now I've run it all the way down to here where I don't have anything left to rewire it. So, I think it's finally time to crack this thing open and see what's actually going on inside, and then I can wire my own wires out of it. Which I am curious what's in the dummy battery, because I have a hunch that some of these actually have a voltage step down in them. I know that some of them do, because DTAP. The DTAP to dummy battery converters definitely do. But this one, I don't know. But we're about to find out. It's just a tinkering stream at the end of the day. I don't care if I don't get anything out of it. Well, that's a big glob of silicone or something. That's fun. You know, this kind of does look like a tiny little voltage step down. I don't know exactly what I'm looking at, but it seems like the same kind of thing. Interesting. And that wire gauge, it's pretty thin, but I think that's a thicker wire than what I have out here, on the inside at least. So, this glob of silicone is a little annoying though, because it means I can't really solder up to this pin very well. What did that dummy battery come with? Did it have USB? No, this was stepping down from wall power. So it would take 120 AC to 8 volt DC. That's what's coming into here. But maybe this is something to protect from surges. I don't know. But in any case, I don't really want to pry all this out to get under that silicone and rewire that. So maybe I just use this extra space and tap into these wires. Did the stream glitch? I don't know. Did my internet cut out? Alright, well anyway, let's chop this sucker. Because we don't need none of that. Just see what we can do with the wire that we have left. I don't care too much if it looks messy. Just peel all this off. that's enough wire to do something with. Let me see again how thick these wires were, because I feel like they were pretty pathetic. Oh, cell service is bad, I see. So this is like some of the most pathetic braided cable. Like, it is so stringy. It seems like it's thick because there's so much insulation around it, but then like the actual wire is pathetic. This was advertised as 18 gauge. And maybe I'm tripping, but that does not look 18 gauge to me, man. So what is this? It doesn't say. But I'm almost certain this solid core stuff, this I think is 22 or 24. And I know I'm comparing solid to braided here. But there's no way that's 18, right? I don't know. Anyway, I feel like I got scammed a little bit. I need that auto tube for exposing the wire. Oh yeah, these things are nutso, dude. Like $15 or something. Best investment I've made in any electronics gear. Those are really common. I have a ton of those thin wire barrel connectors too. Yeah. I feel like it's probably fine for really low voltage stuff, but man, it does not seem like what it was advertised as. Yeah, this one's Harbor Freight too. I got the Quinn branded one. That might have been $20, I don't know. How well is the autofocus using EF on Sony? On some lenses it just straight up doesn't work with the adapter I have. On some it does. But I have manual focus all my stuff anyway, so don't really know. But I remember being a little disappointed that it didn't work back when I was trying to do that. Alright, well, now that I was singing its praises, my wire stripping tool is not doing its job. Of course. It must be shy on camera. Sorry, I gotta get in the habit of not knocking my tools on the desk now that I have my mic mounted up there. Alright. See, that is much thicker wire, dude. Compared to this, there's gotta be twice as many little guys in there. Even though that's a $250 adapter. I think the Sigma one that I have was $100. I don't know what they're actually MSRP at, but I buy all my stuff used, so maybe there's a better one. But I've heard EF autofocus works a lot better on, obviously, Canon, but even Lumix and I think Nikon, it works pretty well. You versus the wire she tells you not to worry about. Yeah. Yeah, Harbor Freight got to swing by to pick up a grinder that's on sale. Nice. Yeah, they got good stuff. Okay, how do I want to rewire this? Do I just be lazy and continue using you know what? There's a lot of empty space in here. I could put a voltage regulator inside this thing. Is that silly? Because then I guess I'd be generating heat inside the camera. All you need is a discombobulator, simple fix. Ah, shoot, I should have bought one. Does Harbor Freight carry discombobulators? Bro, you're generally one of me and my GF's favorite content creators. Thank you. Awesome vids. Thanks so much for doing what you do. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, in some ways I want to just put a voltage regulator in here because that's kind of how DTAP works as far as I know. And if I were to ever make this into a kit, I would do it as a DTAP kit. So that's closer to what the final product would be anyway. Dang. I can't do exactly what I want to do here because I just don't have good DC power plugs right now because the friggin' 50 of them that I bought are all too thin of gauge apparently. And I guess especially if I'm doing a longer run at 18 volts before stepping it down. Although, I don't even remember how that works. Does wire gauge matter more for... No, it's all watts, isn't it? Or no, it's all amps. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Because the wire gauge being thinner matters more when the amps are high, right? So actually when I step down the voltage, it's getting... Oh, my camera died. That's because I'm running on stock batteries. That's what I get for taking too long. Hold up. Should be back. Come on, there you go. There you go. Seen one of your shelves and it inspired me to make one too. I like your style. Thank you. Hell yeah. More shelves. Definitely more ideal to have external voltage converter. Higher voltage can deliver more power on thinner wire. Okay, that's basically what I was trying to say when I was fumbling my words there. I'm glad you confirmed that, thank you. So in theory, I could run, I mean this is still just stupid thin wire, but maybe I could run the higher voltage across this line, step it down once it gets into the dummy battery. Heat management, yeah, is a thing. But I don't think the battery port of the camera really gets that hot. It's mostly the back of it where the processor is. I have 4 batteries and use maybe 1 a week because I don't get to shoot enough. Yeah, the stock batteries do last pretty well, but I roll way too long, so I kill them too fast. Sorry, my brain's working slow right now. It's 3 a.m. If I stay awake for another like hour or two, I'm just gonna make a coffee and say, screw it, I'm starting my day. Drill holes in the dummy battery and keep the battery door open. Oh, for airflow? Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, that does work, because my camera doesn't even have a battery door on it anymore. That's the first thing I did when I bought that camera, is I took the door off. I don't even know where it is anymore. But I'll probably never sell that camera, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, you got a point. If I drill holes here, then it would have airflow. I see no reason that would be a bad idea. So let's do it. Hole drilling time. FX30? Yeah. I want a big drill bit here. Let's see how bad this screws up my audio. I should do a pilot hole first, huh? Just to keep my things straight. Ooh, I'm sure that sounded great on the microphone. My apologies. That's got to be one of the next things I do. Infrastructure improvements is just like setting up a boom mic. That's crazy. I've seen people treat that thing like it's their baby. Yeah, I mean, it is the most expensive piece of camera gear I've ever bought, but still, at the end of the day, I'm not going to baby it because I'm not going to resell it. Ah! There's one hole. There's two holes. Airflow. Stonks. Run a tube and water cool it. Yeah. The water cooled camera rig. Where did my little snippers go? There they are. Okay. Beautiful. Incredible mods. Just came across your channel this week and it's truly inspiring. I work at a large cinema camera rental house in Los Angeles. Been seen some crazy contraptions, but I'm blown away by your projects. That is high praise, man. Thank you. That's very cool. I suppose I can cut away some of this plastic too, because I'm not using the standard wire routing anymore. So, who really cares? I'm down to break things. At the end of the day, I could pull all the electronics out of this thing and probably 3D print a new dummy battery holster, you know? So, it's not the end of the world. It is insane how expensive these things are, though. Like, that is all the components that's in there. And I swear, this thing costed me like $35, $40 or something. It's not so. They're taxing for some of this stuff. We love breaking things. We do love breaking things. Break things to make things. Alright, that buys me some clearance. Now I can fit a new voltage regulator in there. Tiny little guy right there. Put a tiny little 1 or 2 millimeter fan in there, that would be crazy. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I don't know what all these contacts do, so I should definitely put electrical tape over that so I don't short things out. Yeah, that would be the smart thing to do, huh? Where's my E-tape? Here it is. Stuff like electrical tape I always lose track of because I never know if it's in the electronics box or in the tape box, you know? And I used to have like 6 rolls of this stuff and I don't know where it all went. Now I have 1 roll. But that's classic. Crazy the size difference between the old one and those tiny new ones. I know, right? It's really just because the other one has a screen and better controls. Okay, well that should cover me on shorting out. And then these wires are going to go to the outside, out positive and out negative. Let's see if I can get it held up in the helping hands. What is the USB-C port sitting there? Well, I was going to do USB-C power delivery, but I've been informed that that won't work without more communication circuits, at least at the 9 volts that I wanted to do it at. So I've abandoned that idea, and now I'm going back to the dummy battery. I can never find electrical tape or threading tape. I buy a new roll every time I need some. Yep. That is classic. It's like the 10 millimeter socket. I have way more wire than I need here to get this port done, but we're just going to run with it. And this is the part where in a video I would cut through this in 2 2-second shots. But now you get to see me poorly solder something. I should really have this at a different angle so I can actually properly heat it up, huh? There's a pocket dimension where lost shop stuff goes to hang out together. For real. Alright, come on, buddy. Heat up. Do I have this set correctly? That's a good joint. I swear, sometimes I've got it with soldering, and then some days I just suck. And it probably has to do with how well I'm cleaning the soldering iron tip. But I always forget that. Love the face cam? Thanks, yeah. I think this works out pretty good for the setup. So you mentioned you manually focus all your shots. You close the aperture at all, or are you just that good at focusing and you shoot wide open? No. Yeah, I shoot low aperture. 5.6 usually. Because also it's like, once you're zoomed in this much, like, I think I'm at f7.1 or something right now. Like pretty stop down. But you still see like when this is in focus and then this is out of focus, and that's only, 3-4 inches away in real life. So it's like the depth of field gets so crazy when you're zoomed in that much that it doesn't even matter that I'm at a lower f-stop, I also think for video, the shallow depth of field look is like a little played out, at least to my taste. I don't care for it. I don't care about blurry backgrounds. So yeah, I just stop it down. Makes it easier on me. When I went from a cheap iron to a nice one with good plated tips, it became 10 times better. Yeah, it's probably a worthy investment here soon. No, I completely missed on that one. Excellent. I also just get impatient, I think. Don't give things the time they need to heat up properly. I kind of like shallow depth of field, but too much can be distracting. Yeah. I think it's more a photography thing in my mind. Same with like full frame, the full frame obsession. Alright. I did that correctly, right? Out minus out plus. Great. Excellent. And then we can wire the ins to well, it's going to go back over to this, which I guess I just desoldered to do it to USB, and now I'm not doing that anymore, so now I have to redo the thing I just undid. But whatever. So I guess I'm just going to run this to a male end DC plug. See if that works. I suppose I'm not being the most scientific here. Because my theory was that my wire gauge was too thin, and now I'm using the same wire gauge, but the big thing I'm changing is because it's higher voltage over the run, lower amps. In theory, we get away with a thinner gauge cable. In theory, we'll see. Who knows? It's not you that should heat up in a second, but the cheap tips just can't transfer heat. Yeah, I ought to clean that thing. Come on. Alright, nice. I swear sometimes threading braided cable is harder than threading a needle on a sewing machine, man. Where's my file? Clean this soldering tip. A little more thoroughly this time. Yeah. I'm seeing some metal there. Will this go smoother? Oh yeah, 10 times better, bro. Instant. Should have done that from the start. Clean tips, man. what are we working on? Doing some tinkering with the 20 volt power tool battery camera thing. That sucker. Whoa. I just noticed my ND filter changes the reflections. Like, you see the reflection in here? So it's doing some polarizer stuff too. Weird. Do you use flux when soldering? Usually not, unless I'm like soldering to a plate or what are they called? Like a big contact patch or something. Variable ND, yeah. But I guess it's doing polarizing too. Oh yeah, it is just two polarizers, isn't it? I forgot about how that works. Sometimes I want to desolder. I put soldering tip on the board. It just heats up the board and everything around, but doesn't melt the solder. What's the problem? I do not know, brother. I have the same issues. I don't really know what I'm doing here. But it could just be a bad tip. Okay, so I can stick this battery back together. Hopefully my cable's long enough. Just like that. Fresh wire on the battery. Oh, I didn't set that voltage regulator yet. Whoopsie. Gotta crack that open again. But I guess I can't set it until I've got 18 volt coming in, so now I have to rewire this. And I'm just going to ignore the other two ports and just get the 8 volt port working. Which is hilarious because I started the stream by desoldering these to put that in, and now I'm desoldering those to put these back in, but whatever. Such is life. Such is tinkering. See if I can get this threaded through the heated solder. Yep, there we go. The other end. Very nice. So that should functionally be... Oh, wait, what am I doing? Now I've got 2 voltage regulators. That was supposed to be 18 volt. Silly me. Polarizing filters are so cool. TBH blew my mind when I first used one. Yeah, this is my first, I had a polarizing filter from my dad's old film camera. But this is my first variable ND, and it is pretty nice. Okay, so I just completely borked that. That was not supposed to go through a voltage step down. How do I want to do this? Do I just move these wires to the other end? just to test, turn that one way up. I guess. I don't actually remember off the spec sheet how high these can go. But yeah, I guess we could just do an 18 down to 15 sort of thing. Not a bad idea. Check the volts. Are you going to keep the build day sleep schedule forever? No. No. Switch that on. We got what? Did I do something wrong? I should be seeing 18 coming in. Oh, come on. Am I on AC mode or something? Oh yeah, here we go. 20.6. And then the other end, we're coming down to 8.1. So, if I turn that sucker up, was that up or down? Oh, we're stepping down to 0.8 volts now, so other way. Other way. Maxed out the other way is 19.6. Okay. Great. That'll be a good test. Let me just confirm to the port itself. 19.6, 19.7. And plug that into here. And then this battery needs to get set to 8. I should probably test this on the A6600, huh? So that if I fry a camera, it's my less expensive one. Do you guys hear that car alarm going off down the street? Oh, it's gone now. 16. Oh yeah, you do. Classic 3 a.m. in my neighborhood kind of stuff. Okay, so that's all the way up. Test the pins too, just to help troubleshoot. Yeah. Smart idea. 10.4 there. .2. So just a little smidge more. I'm sure 8.2 would be fine, but. And now we're too low. It's so sensitive. 7.6. Just a smidge up. I'm getting nothing. What? Oh. 7.7. These are the things that get cut from the videos. But we're live. You need some alligator leads? I know, right? Sometimes I try to like two-hand it where like I'll hold both of these with one hand and then turn the knob with the other hand, but it's like don't feel like doing all that right now. Doesn't feel the same watching you solder without ambient synth music. My goodness, it is so sensitive. Maybe I should do it that way. Hold up. So if I can hold both leads with one hand, and then turn this. Now we can get it to exactly 8. Right there. Cool. And then, just for safety, we'll test the ports actually going into the camera. So many layers of things going on here. Yeah, that's the same. 8.1. Okay. One-handing the 2 probe solder joints will drive a man to madness. I know. Alright. So, the new face cam is nice. Indeed. But now it's time to blow it up. We're going to test with this thing. Unplug that sucker real quick. It'll be back. It'll be back. Hold on. Alright, there we go. Okay, so we're going to test it using this guy, because if I break a camera, I would rather it be this one. Where'd the top piece of this go? So that can go in. Alright. Put that in there, see if this camera turns on. And it does. Who would have thunk? Let me stick a memory card in there. See if it'll record and if it powers off. Recording. Seems like it's working fine. Is this cable getting hot at all? No. I did notice these getting hot in the previous one, which is why part of the reason why I think it's that. But I guess now that it's higher volts and lower amps, maybe not an issue. If I tinker with this, does it change? Any bad wiring? Don't think so. Now, I don't know for sure that it's fixed because maybe the FX30 is more power hungry than this thing, so, but at least it didn't fry this camera. What lens is on that camera? It's a Rokinon 12mm, fairly cheap-ish cinema lens, and then I threw a lens hood from a different lens on it because I noticed I was getting glare. Problem is it's so thin it could limit power without even heating up. Oh, is that a thing? I didn't know about that. Well, I mean, it's been rolling for 2 minutes, and I was having issues way before that. So I think we're doing good. I'm going to test it on the FX30 now, which I really hope I don't blow up. Get this full plug back in. Hold it. one camera going. And we're back. How's that? Yay, face cam didn't die. Now, there's a button here somewhere. Which one is it? That one. Oh, what did I just do? So that one goes to that. There it is. Okay. So now, we can test the FX30 and see if this guy will blow up. And I really hope it doesn't. Dummy battery going in. Turn her on. It is on. If I press record, this is where it would die before. So far, nothing. What's up, Dark Man? Yeah, no, this is rolling. And my battery indicator on there says 100%. And when it was freaking out before, it would drop down to like 70, which I guess implies that, I don't know if it's reading amps or volts for that, but it was not getting enough juice in some way or another. Now if I rattle this around, does that cause any issues? No. Seems fine. Okay. So we're on to something. I would just leave it running, but this cable isn't long enough for that to go up there on the tripod without rigging it all up. Oh, hold on, I smell plastic. Is that... could just be from my soldering iron. Voltage regulator is getting a touch warm, but not out of the ordinary, I don't think. Wires are still fine. Yeah, they are probably sensitive to heat. Because I did notice it would flicker out worse when it was hotter, you know? Just saw the video you wanted to start, didn't know it was going to happen this soon. Yeah. I woke up randomly in the middle of the night and I was like, screw it, I'm just going to test this. Okay, well this camera's been rolling now for a couple minutes. No issues, battery reading is not dropping, so I think it's safe to call that a solution. Yeah, sorry, I'm not as good at speaking right now. I'm somewhat sleep deprived. Still adjusting back to Eastern time zone. Okay, put this battery back in here. And press this button. Yeah. Yeah. I am using the NES camera switcher, by the way. So I have it set up so when I press up, it goes there. When I press side, it goes to both. And then when I press down, it's just the FX30. Pretty cool. But I need to rewire that thing because it's got a freaking mess of cables. This can come back up. yeah, there's a lot of issues that could be coming out of various parts of this battery adapter, but really, it's worked exceptionally well up until the issues that I had with this variant. And I think I just changed too many things at once. It was the low voltage cutoff, freaking out. That was overheating almost for sure. And then my wire for the main power delivery being too thin of a gauge. I think I can safely say it was that. This dummy battery is a little bit warm now, but that's normal. I never have issues with that camera overheating anyway, because it has active cooling in it. So not the biggest deal in the world. Okay. How long have I been live? An hour 20. So, now I've got the other two ports on this thing are still disconnected. We've got camera power back, that's good. But I would like to get this thing boxed back up, and we'll just leave that extra step down in there because I'll probably change things anyway, and it seems to be working, even though I'm probably losing 0.5% efficiency or something. We'll leave that. So now this is no longer 8 volts, this is 18 volts, but it's fine. So we'll just relabel that 18 volts, like that. The Rode mic thing didn't work, and I'm pretty sure all the comments saying ground loop were probably correct. I didn't think about that. I've dealt with ground loops in like wiring car stereos and stuff, but I'm just in such a different world here that I didn't even think about that same principle applying. But the fact that the camera's ground is shared with the microphone's ground is almost definitely the issue. So I think even if I tap it straight into the battery, that probably will still be an issue versus USB charging. It's probably worth a test regardless, but that's something for another day because the wireless mic battery dying isn't as big of a concern for me. I do want to get, for the shooting that I'm doing today, I do want to get the wireless HDMI back up and running, which I have currently unplugged. And I didn't desolder it because while I was in Colorado, I did not have a soldering iron. So I just had to snip the cables with kitchen scissors. Or actually, no, they weren't kitchen scissors, they were regular scissors. I didn't want to dull the kitchen scissors. So I have to desolder these little wire ends, which is potentially going to be a pain. Good morning from the Netherlands. Good morning from Indiana. Or good evening, depending on how you look at it. Oh, did I get that desoldered? Such a pain. Oh no, I pushed it back in. Dang. There we go. Desoldering got to be one of the most annoying things. How'd you learn your 3D modeling skills? That is one thing that I actually did have a class for. I was lucky enough to have access to some 3D modeling stuff in high school. But my teacher pretty much just ran his engineering class as a YouTube channel. So he would record YouTube videos during class, and then instead of doing the lecture every time, he would just send us the YouTube video. We'd watch it the first 15 minutes of class, and then just experiment for the rest of the hour. And he would just help us by answering questions, which I thought actually worked a lot better than doing the same lecture every time. So that worked really well. But his videos are out there. If you look up Mr. Z CAD, that was my high school teacher's 3D modeling course. And that was in Autodesk Inventor. Oh, my camera died again. But now I'm using Autodesk Fusion, which is pretty much the same thing, so it all kind of applies. Took me a minute to get back into it, because the last time I really 3D modeled was, when I was 16 years old or something. But it's not too hard for basic functional parts. Project Lead the Way. That sounds familiar. Where do I know that phrase from? I don't know. But yeah, I think that was it. Let's see. Where was I? So I desoldered those wires. I don't need all three of these now. And I see no sense in keeping them all messy packed in here, because that's just going to hurt the heat management, right? Am I realistically going to use the third port for anything before I build the next version? Maybe I will. Maybe I will. It's going to be a big old mess, but I'll see if I can keep all these wires. And these guys are about ½ an inch shorter now, which is not going to be fun. In my experience, PLTW does all the high school engineering curricula in the U.S. Yeah, I think that is what it was. Okay, let's see if I can get these soldered back in. This is gonna be a little bit of a headache. Soldering is a three-handed activity. Come on, come on, come on. Why are you not working? Please. And now the wire's hot enough that it's burning my hands. Love that. What a pain. What is the best angle to go about this? Clampy, help me out. I really should have just given myself more space in this 3D model, but you know what? It is what it is. Use 2 buck converters in parallel to get more amps. You know what? I never thought about that. But I guess maybe. Oh boy, this is going rough. I need to clean this soldering tip again. Yeah, that might work. I don't know if there's issues with... Yeah, no. I see no reason why that wouldn't work. Man, I feel like there's a little bit of leftover wire in this thing that's gumming up my joint. This solder is being a pain. Do you have any interest in hyperspectral photography? I don't even know what that is. Is that like infrared adjacent stuff? It's always looked cool to me, but I haven't messed around with it yet. Where's my wire? I need to straighten this wire out. Just trim the end off, actually. Okay. There we go. Finally. Don't know if I'm going to have enough space to pack all this stuff in with the mess that I'm making, but oh, and I just totally joined 2 things that I should not have. Very cool. Heads up, I'm reading about it because I was unsure, but powering everything from the same battery should, if anything, fix ground loops rather than cause them. Loop is caused by 2 isolated grounds. Oh! So it could be because the Rode mic battery is 1 ground and the other system is the other, so actually spoofing the battery rather than charging it might fix the issues. Okay. Well, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot regardless. Thank you for the research. Well, I'm headed to bed. Good luck with the soldering and tinkering. Thank you. For me, hyperspectral is when you take pics, but you have more than RGB sensors. Could be IR or UV, but also stuff between RGB. That sounds cool. Yeah, I've never tried it, but it sounds sick. Oh boy, this geometry is getting really tough to reach what I need to. But I just need to get it good enough to work for today. Come on. late is it at your place? Midnight. It is 4 a.m. here. But I'm like starting my day, not ending it. It's a sleep schedule reset day. I went to bed at like 8 p.m. and randomly woke up at 2. And I was like, I'm not going to fall back asleep for a while, so I'm just going to go live until the sun rises and I can work on my actual project. Okay, I think that solder is pretty much good enough. Throw a little bit extra on there. Nope, and I broke it. Excellent, awesome. That's nuts. Yeah. It's a weird day. Not a part of the insomnia squad tonight, at least. I am a part of the late night squad a lot, but not today. Today it's early squad. Okay. This is such a mess, but I think it does what it's supposed to do. Allegedly. Oh, what a mess I've created. Can we get this tucked in neatly? And one of these, or well, I guess they'll all be running regardless. I was up till 7 a.m. last night. Oh boy. I'd say that's not good, but I definitely did that during October a couple times. Not healthy in general, but you know, sometimes you gotta pull an all-nighter. Alright, I don't even know if the lid's gonna go on this thing, but I don't care at this point. So I know the voltage on this one is where it needs to be. And then off the top of my head, I cannot remember what voltage the wireless HDMI needed. Where is it? Right here. But it was just a lithium-ion battery, so it must have been 3.7-ish. Or, what did I label it at? 4. Yeah, so high 3s ought to do. And that is the green one. That goes over to this one. Let me test that voltage. I gotta do the stupid one-hand thing again. Okay. It's currently at 8.1 because I was screwing around with it. Get it adjusted back down to 4. Oh. All right, 4 on the dot should do the trick. think this should actually, just for my own knowledge, I should also check what the other one is at currently, because I don't remember what my third port ended up at. 4.3. Okay. So we've got 18, 19 volt, 4.3, and 4. Do I dare put the cap on? I feel like it's bad luck to reassemble everything. Wireless HDMI we can plug in and we see if it turns on, I guess. I'm not seeing any lights. What happened? Did I kill this somehow? Do I have to press the button? Dang. Why is that now not powering on? Let me check the port again. Well, now I'm reading nothing. What in the world? Oh, the switch is off, duh. This one, 4.3, this one, 4. Strange. Strange. Why am I not getting lights? That would suck if I killed it already, huh? I don't remember doing anything that would have screwed it up. Oh, there's an on-off switch here. Goofy me. Goofy. Switch that. Still no lights. What the heck? Always something, man. Let me try the 4.3 volt port. That works. We got lights. We got lights. Maybe I misremembered the voltage it wanted. But luckily I didn't fry it in the process. We are good. So now I can screw this back on there. And we might have our wireless HDMI and camera battery back. Can I get this lid on? That's the question. Probably not in a pretty way, but I can force it on for sure. Definitely going to add another couple millimeters to that pocket. on the next version. And honestly, I might remove the low voltage cutoff thing until I have the time and knowledge to actually wire up a circuit board myself, or design a circuit board. Thanks for hanging out, 9 clicks. I appreciate the help. I might have fried something if it weren't for you. I think we're back in service here. As long as it doesn't overheat now that the lid is back. And then this puppy can go. I keep smelling melting plastic. It's probably just my soldering iron. Yeah, no, we're fine. Wires are not hot. That cap can click back in. This one. Active cooling mods with some tiny Noctua fans. That'd be sick. Man, it really does look like a bomb. I know, right? I kind of lucked out that TSA workers were getting cut or whatever was going on, because TSA was not as hard as it should have been for how goofy some of this stuff looks. Craziness. Okay. Well, this works. Allegedly. Hopefully, maybe. Now I can stick my cheese plate back on. Turn this off for a second. I think it goes that way, if I remember. Did they ask about it? No. They didn't ask about anything. Love your videos, bro. Keep up the great content. Thank you. Get those really tightened down. I wish more things had 2 1/4-20 screws in them, like with tripod plates and stuff. I never want any of it to be able to twist. The standard should be 2. Ooh, that battery cable might not be long enough to actually reach the camera. That would be super annoying. But I suppose we'll find out here in a few seconds. And why is this not fitting anymore? Oh, I never screwed in the other screw on this thing. Design this with screw holes so I don't have to click it in every time, but whatever. Now that fits under there. This plate can go on. Ignore the very loud plane flying over my house. Yo, Bergen. Bananas getting ready for work. We love you. Thanks, babe. Wait, so you're actually up this late? Huh. I'm like somewhere in between. I slept for a little bit. Is there any decent place you know of to get a set of screws made for not a lot of money? Set of screws? I don't know. Like custom machine screws? It's crazy I have my morning coffee this time here instead of midnight tea. Yeah, we're all screwed up, sounds like. What else do I need? Tripod plate here. Is that the proper place to put this? He doesn't sleep, chat? No, I did. I swear. You gotta keep doing the smell check on all the electronics work to make sure it doesn't melt. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a rough day for me. Resetting my sleep. I'm about to make some coffee as soon as this is done, man. And then I'm just gonna ride the day through and see if I can make it without napping. Okay, back to full cam here. This one can come off. And then swap out the battery. And hopefully, when all this goes together, the battery actually reaches. I'm somewhat skeptical. Dang. I don't know if it does. Maybe if I plug in the battery first and then stick the camera together after. Yeah, I think that will work if I change the cable routing a little bit. Watching from the UK, having my morning coffee. It's past 9 a.m. here. Can't pull an odd eye anymore. There would just be a camera shot. My head on the desk snoring loudly. Yeah. Yep. I generally can't do all-nighters either. I'm a guy that needs a lot of sleep, but today I am attempting, well, I mean, I slept for a couple hours, so it's like kind of a half all-nighter. But I have some car work that I'm trying to do before the weather gets too nasty here in the Midwest. And I keep sleeping in, and then the sun sets at 4:30, and so I haven't been able to get as much done as I would have liked in the sunlight. So today I'm just making it happen at any cost. I did get the cable run. It's not quite as neat. I wanted the cable to tuck down there so it's not as in the way of the controls, but should work. Let's power the thing on, see if it blows up. It's working. It's working. I'm rolling. No issues. Where is my... I did put the tripod plate in the wrong spot. Let me fix that real quick. That should go over here. centered. Berg, you're crazy. I accidentally called you babe and now we're actually gay baiting. I'm not. I need to not. Oh boy. Okay, this seems to work fine. No issues so far. Now I can test the wireless HDMI. Wherever my cables are, I don't know. There's one here for the monitor. I'm not, oh really? Yeah, I can never beating the allegations. Okay, so this can run to here. And then wherever my other HDMI cable is. Oh wait, no, I can just plug another battery into this. And then this can go into the cable that was running into the computer so y'all can see if it works. And we just bypass the monitor entirely. Which button is it? Okay. In theory. Oh. Hey! Let's go. Okay. So we're now running on wireless HDMI. So my camera is transmitting to that, which is going into this cable that's going into the computer. And I'm also rolling on the camera right now. So we're putting it through its paces power-wise. I'm not seeing any heat coming off of anything. I guess the dummy battery is a little bit hot, but not bad. Cool. Sick. Camera reception. We've got a camera recording, a camera recording, a camera. There's you. Very cool. This is actually cool. This is the first time I've ever fully wirelessly streamed. Seems strange that this works, but it does. Okay, well we're back. We are back, functionally. This can go up here, back on the tripod. Excellent stuff. Unplug my soldering iron before I burn my place down. Well, great. I wanted to be able to use this cute little USB-C cable. I just got this, and that was going to be my power delivery thing. But with these little boards, but I guess we'll save that for another day. Maybe I can use the USB-C for the wireless HDMI power and for the Rode mic if that ends up working. Who knows? Oh yeah, and I have a package to open. I never opened it. Oop, dropped my screwdriver. Put this over here where it's not going to light anything on fire. How far can you go before it disconnects? I tested it earlier. It starts disconnecting once you go through a couple walls. But I think open field, it says it'll go like a couple 100 feet or something. I want to say 300 feet. Don't know. Or maybe it was like 70, 80 meters. Okay, my address isn't on this, is it? Maybe I should open it over here and bring the items over. I think I marked out my address already, though. Let me just check that there's not a note that says don't open this on stream. Whoa! Actually, huge care package from Hempstead. Berg, you gotta stop trolling or I'll take away your friggin' mod badge. He said, "Hey Evan, I was going through my stuff to clear out and sell. I found some stuff I thought you might enjoy or do some cool shit with. I hope you enjoy this chaotic care package. Also, P.S. I have your address." Oh, yeah. The videos are great, so keep killing it, dude. Appreciate your work. Much love, Brian. Hell yeah. Cool guy. He bought one of my lenses off me. I need to be careful about this because he's reused some packaging that has his address on it, so I'm just going to bring items over. We have a Wacom tablet drawing pad, which I can probably turn into something. I'm actually so excited about this package. Yo, is this like a desk mat, giant mouse mat? Very cool. At first I was gonna say I thought it was a like Magic the Gathering play mat or something. Just started watching all your videos. Love your work and your channel. Thank you. Ooh. Keyboard, hand rest, I'm assuming. Scrap wood. That mat looks too nice for your room. Yeah, I'll probably use it for trading card play mat, if anything. Cool mug. Accessories for the tablet. An old mouse. Oh, sick. He sent me a fingerboard with some notes. I'll go through more of this stuff off stream, but... Oh, hell yeah. Classic Logitech webcam, which I think would be hilarious to try to adapt old lenses to. Some clamps for various rigging of things. I will definitely use these. Oh, that is awesome. Don't even know what this is, but some kind of other rigging thing. Maybe for that? C-mount webcam? Yeah. C-mount everything, bro. Whoa. Some dope, like, custom matches of some kind. That's a cool matchbox. Whoa. Some kind of keyboard volume knob accessory. How much do you think the sensor size is on it? I don't know, but it's gotta be tiny, tiny. Like shark cam tiny. Another clamp. Another clamp. These are actually nice friggin' aluminum blocks, dude. Some more keyboard stuff. Yo! DeWalt Apple phone charger. I'm using the heck out of that. That's ballin'. A little keycap. White XLR cable. That's pimpin'. Some stickers. Oh, there's a lens. We have a lens, folks. If you're watching this, Brian, now or later, thank you. This is some cool stuff. 3.5, 55 millimeter old Nikon mount, which I actually may have an adapter for right now. If I can get it unstuck. Is that the right adapter? It is. The old Nikon mount's confusing because it twists on the opposite way. Is this Sony? Yeah, it is. So we can test this lens right now. Watch this. Boom. Flashbang. Hold up. It's gonna go white. Ah! Ah! Nope. There it is. The focus is real stiff, but it does work. That's a cool little lens. Nice. All right, I'm switching back. Prepare for flashbang. Boom. And we're back. Yeah, the opposite bayonet twist is strange. A mug. May use that for coffee. Mouse. Oh, another lens. Some old nuts. What's this lens? 135 millimeter, 2.8. What mount is this? Minolta. I don't have an adapter for that yet. That is cool. Wow, I've never seen this before. Look at that. For the feet marker, it goes 50, 100, but it's so close together it looks like it's saying 50,000 feet. That's funny. I like that. Sick. And then is this a keycap? Is this a whole keycap set? That was yellow, not white. Is it the white balance? It's my LUT, I think. This doesn't have... Yeah, I think this is a keycap set, which is nutso if it is. It's sealed. Brian is too kind for all this. This box is hard to get open. Oh boy, it is. Damn! That's clean. Are these PBT or ABS? I feel like PBT. I may have to use these. Sick. I'll send him a message because I doubt he caught the stream. We love keys. I'm actually like unreasonably psyched about the white XLR and the DeWalt the DeWalt Apple charger. Oh, I'm gonna drop that. Incredible stuff. Well, hell yeah. And the FX30 was rolling that entire time. It has not overheated. Cable doesn't feel hot. The back of the camera is like a normal level of hot. Dummy battery maybe a little bit. But it's still reading 100%, which means it's pulling the right number of amps and volts still. So I think we're safe. I think we're all working. Great. All right, well, I've been going for 2 hours. I'm gonna shut it off now, make some coffee. Was there anything else I wanted to do on this stream before ending? Oh, no, I already did that too. Yeah, alright, that's it. Thanks everybody for hanging on the late night stream. It's been fun. I will do more of these, like random building things. Stuff that's too small to be a full video. But yeah. I'm glad to have this. You'll see a video from me in a couple days for sure. But I'll be out here working on my car for the next few. Alright, peace.